Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night OWCP Chats with Chris and Gini. How are you guys all doing tonight?
Good evening.
I know you guys are antsy in your pantsy,
Antsy in your pantsy, huh?
yeah. Hello, Mary. You're antsy in your pantsy, so you guys could find out what the big thing Chris wants to talk about today to help with financial distress, which is a huge, huge topic for every federal employee, especially if you don't know what to do when you get injured on the job.
Yeah.
So,
And by the way, before you keep going, many of you are looking at this screen going, you're backwards. So complain to Facebook. They're having a problem. And they're not allowing us to reverse. And so if you're looking at federal injury centers in reverse, I'm also looking at the camera in reverse. It looks funny, like I'm not looking right at you.
Problem.
So anyway, sorry about that tonight. But the information's still going to be good, even though Facebook's platform's having problems.
yeah. So, with that said, go ahead and share, and I'm going to announce tonight's winner. Chicken, something dinner. What is it? How does it go?
It's going to be a long night.
Oh, winner, chicken dinner. All right. Oh,
I'm going to raffle off
guys-
volunteers to sit in my spot for about a month.
Ron, how are you? Tammy, hello. Diane, hello. So before we start all of this, how to not be in financial distress. I hope you're liking my fluffy do. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and do some shares. We have some great news on locations that have popped up. We have 40 locations. They're not all ready to see patients.
But they will be very soon.
They will be by the second week in June. Let's put it like that.
Marianne says she'll sit in my spot.
Tell her. She
Come
was
on.
already laughing at when I got fat and on my Snapchat picture on Facebook. Anyways, you guys listen to all the locations that are going to be coming up the second week of June. Please understand, if we don't say your city or your state, we haven't had anything yet, or we are in the process of working on it. You have to understand a few things. It's not easy to get a doctor to do this.
No,
it is not easy.
It's very hard.
And so it takes a lot from our entire team, 6 of us, to get these doctors on board and ready to go, plus training left, right, and center, just to make sure you guys get accepted claims. So while Chris explains more of that,
Yeah.
I'll be doing this.
So very exciting times. You know, we've been talking about bringing on more offices for, it seems like forever. And now we're at 40 locations. About a third of those are in Florida, okay, where we're at. And so let's start there. And by the way, this will be a good time for me to tell you, if you're somebody who's driving an hour or more to get to the doctor, this night is for you, okay? Because
Yes.
you're going to get some information that can put a stop to that for you, so you can spend more time on the clock where they have to pay you and less time on a CA7 because it took so long to get to the doctor. So with that said, we've got offices. I swear it's so weird. Like, I'm looking right at the screen and it looks funny to me because I'm looking back at myself. All right, Palm Harbor, which is very close to where we're at right now, and Pinellas Park, which is near St. Pete.
Yeah, it's
very
like
close to the
15
Bay
minutes.
Pines VA Hospital.
Yes.
So that was a strategically placed location so we can help more of the VA employees there and everyone else in Pinellas Park. Those doctors are already trained. They're already seeing patients, already writing great narratives. So that's very exciting. If you're in that area, you should be going to those offices. We've also got an office coming up in Northport, which is a little further south. Jeannie and I will be there Tuesday doing some training, which is something we like to do for all these offices. So Northport. And then we've got an office in Fort Lauderdale that's ready to go as well. Dr. Henry's over there with his nurse practitioner and MD, so in Fort Lauderdale. And then we've got offices across the Panhandle in Panama City, Pensacola, Tallahassee, Gainesville, and Jacksonville. And then we're going to have actually 2 Jacksonville locations. We've got Melbourne, Florida, We are working on a deal in South Orlando. So that would be very exciting. We were just there today, actually. We drove over, and that office location is pristine. I'll be very proud for all of you to be able to go to an office like that. So we're fortunate that they're considering this program, and we really believe they're going to do it because they want to attend the training that we're having June 3rd and 4th here in Florida. Too late, I said it. So that's our Florida locations for now. Definitely more coming. There's one in Ocala.
Yeah, we have Ocala, Jacksonville, the Panhandles area.
I said those.
Oh, okay.
So I forgot to say Ocala, but that's our newest one that we're bringing on. So we're really, really excited. There's so many Florida locations. If you're in Florida and you're driving more than half an hour to get to the doctor, it's because you didn't realize that we have a federal injury center. It's probably closer to you. So check that out. Spend more time on the clock and less time in your car. That's the idea there. We've also got locations coming up in Georgia. We're going to be in Georgia and Alabama on the sort of Georgia-Alabama line the next couple of days starting tomorrow. So South Atlanta, Columbus, Georgia. We've got one coming up in Savannah, Georgia.
Phoenix.
Well, that's Phoenix City, Alabama. And then Bessemer, Alabama, which is a suburb of Birmingham, Montgomery, Alabama, and Anniston, Alabama, to service the Army depot there at the request of Mr. Barclay. So we got that done. We're really happy about that. We've got an office ready to go in Greenville, South Carolina. They can see you today. Well, okay, it's too late. Tomorrow.
And a few of you actually went by. I know Laura McKenzie posted on my Facebook that they went by and they said that the office was really sweet and what was the word? Welcoming.
Welcoming. And that's the feeling I got too when I was talking to them on the phone. So during the onboarding process. So Dr. Mills in South Carolina is ready to go. We've got an office in Charlotte, North Carolina that's finally started the training process. So we're really excited about Charlotte. There may be actually 2 or 3 North Carolina locations as a result of that one doctor in Charlotte. So stay tuned for that. We've got, of course, Dr. Wooten in Memphis, Tennessee. He's been there. He's ready to go. He's getting cases accepted. So if you're in Tennessee, you need to be calling Dr. Wooten for your OWCP injuries and stop the hassle of denied claims. Then Dr. Archuleo is in downtown Chicago. His office is fully trained and ready to go too. They're already writing winning narratives for patients, so we're really excited about them. We've got one office in Walker, Louisiana that's been a much slower start. He's had a remodel, and so he's working through some things, but we're trying to get back on track. And then we've got offices in McKinney and Dallas, Texas. Dallas is in Oak Cliff, if you're familiar, if you're in the Dallas area. 2 offices in Massachusetts. And I don't think I've missed anything. We've got some coming soon in other places, though. We're really excited about it. We're working on some deals right now, trying to get those done. But that's our office locations. So if I didn't say your city or state, it's because we're not there yet. But it's not because we're not coming. We definitely are. I'm talking to a guy in Kansas City, Missouri. We're in talks with Tucson, Arizona. We've got a doctor that's got an office in Salt Lake City, so we're looking forward to bringing that office on. We're talking to a doctor in Ohio, I think in the Cleveland area, if I'm not mistaken. I might be. So those are the areas that we're in right now. Oh, and we've got, I couldn't see my map. We've got 10 locations throughout the Portland area and the Seattle area that are all training and being onboarded. So that rounds out all of our office locations for now. So
we
really excited about these.
We do not have anything in Vegas.
Not yet, but we're really trying hard for that. You know, it's like she started out with. We can't make these doctors say yes, and the one that we're still talking to, we feel like we got him right to the finish line, and it's just, it's hard to start. So we're hoping that gets started soon.
I'm still sharing.
Still sharing. All right.
That's me. I'm the share girl.
This is perfect. So let me give you a couple more housekeeping items. By the way, like, follow, and share this page. Hit the share button so it goes out to your news feed and your friends see it, preferably your coworkers because they need this help too. Like and follow this page. We get over 500,000 views a year of our trainings, and we have less than 8,000 people following it. So if you're here, please hit the follow button. That'll help you see when we go live, when we post things that are going to be useful to you. And then I've got these 2 books that I wrote just for you. They're called Breaking OWCP, and of course, it's all backwards. So frustrating. BreakingOWCP.com is the website where you can pick up the 2 books for $22 total. No shipping. I do shipping for free. So go to BreakingOWCP.com and get these books about OWCP. What I did is I took a very complex system and I broke it down into terms that everyone can understand. And the education, the knowledge is the power in this system. The reason people have such bad results is they don't really know how to start this system. So I'm going to be talking a lot about that tonight too. And then the last housekeeping item I want to tell you, we're really excited. See, most people, most companies, they build a Facebook page to supplement a website. Well, this page has gotten so big, and it's got so many followers or so many people that watch, that we decided to build a website to support it. And so if you will go and bookmark www.owcpchats.com, owcpchats.com. Go there. When you go there, it's going to ask you to register. It's going to ask for just a little bit of information. Please just fill that stuff in. It helps us know where you're at because it'll help me find doctors in the locations where I have a high density of people that are following us. So please don't avoid that. I'm not going to spam you, but go ahead and fill in that little bit of information so I can find doctors in areas where I wasn't maybe thinking about. But OWCPchats.com, you can get to the book website from there. But also, all of those free forms that I've made for you are there, and we're going to be talking about those forms tonight. So you can go there. It's a little easier to get them, to download them, to print them out. I've got rules, laws, and regulations that are relevant to you listed here. I've got all of the forms that you need on this site, so you don't go to the OWCP page and the forms won't open up. They'll open up here. So you can get the forms, the rules, laws, and regulations. You can access the book from here, and you can get all of my free forms as well that I've made to solve your problems. So go check out OWCPchats.com. We're going to be talking about it throughout this broadcast in future weeks, but I'm really excited to have it there to support this page and to give you really valuable tools that will help you avoid the crises that you go through when you get an OWCP injury. How we doing?
Okay. So, Ron, I just responded to you. You wanted to talk to Chris about everything that's going on and your Congress involved. I said, please private message me your phone number. We'll call you.
Yeah.
If we don't get back to you tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, we have meetings all weekend.
We're going to be flying and training.
Okay, Georgia. We have 3 locations in the Georgia area, if you did not hear that.
They're in Savannah, Columbus, South Atlanta. Those are the 3 locations we've got so far.
And Phoenix City in...
Well, Phoenix City's Alabama.
Yeah, but
that's not Georgia.
Make sure what you say...
Newbie
what
here, what is
OWCP? Are the
OWCP?
same. Okay.
Sorry, OWCP is Workers' Comp for Federal Employees. Office of Workers' Compensation Programs.
Hello, newbie.
Welcome.
I'm sorry, I didn't see your name on here. Erica Carter. I'm seeing a doctor that has refused to write another letter to DOL. Can I see if one of your doctors can see about getting the case approved? I am lost on where to go at this point.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and message us, private message us, and let us know where you're located.
And if you're new here, I led off talking about the different office locations that we've opened up. Federal Injury Centers is a franchise company like McDonald's, but for healthcare. And our mission is to find and train doctors who will get your OWCP claims approved, with an understanding that the number one problem you have is you can't find good trained doctors who want to help you. And like this person that just said, my doctor won't write another letter. Well, our doctors don't suffer from those same problems. We write letters until we get the job done, period. Our claims acceptance rate is record-breaking. Nobody can come close to our claims acceptance rate. And that's our calling card. So that's what Federal Injury Centers is, but this is Wednesday night OWCP Chats. This is where you come for free training about federal workers' comp issues and to ask your questions in real time because we're going to answer them here.
Yeah, so OWCP stands for Office of Workers' Compensation Program.
Right.
DOL is Department of Labor. So you'll hear us shout out those words because we kind of dummy it down. Okay, so tonight, I know we said it's going to be one of the most important Wednesday night chats.
No,
so,
the.
Oh.
The most important.
That's what I said.
Not one of the.
Oh.
The
most important topics.
It is.
You guys are all having trouble with your trying to get your paperwork, trying to file it, trying to find a doctor, trying everything, and then financial disaster happens. What do you do to avoid all of this?
Yeah.
Hit it.
So, and by the way, that's why I wrote these books, breakingowcp.com. I wrote the books during COVID when we weren't able to travel around and do our trainings that we do live. So I said, okay, I got to find some other way to help. And so thousands of you have the book. Thank you for getting it. Everyone that has it has said it's been super helpful and a fast and easy read. So check that out. Don't wait until you need the information to get it, because then it's too late. With that said, you're here, so let's give you the most valuable information that I have. I want to share it all tonight.
Okay, Crystal and anybody else on here, hold your questions. Don't forget to share. For share winners, you get a $100 gift card of your choice. At the end, we will go ahead and announce our share winner. And I know the three of you from last month, I know, please forgive me. We just got so busy. I will send out your gift cards next week, even the new share winner this week.
So we only have bad excuses. We're not going to waste your time with those.
Yeah. Is it OWCPchats.com?
Yes, OWCPchats.com.
Crystal, you said, what about not getting paid for COVID leave since January? Okay, we're going to go over all of this. Hang tight, ignore my fluff, and hit it.
Don't ignore her fluff. It's good fluff. Okay, so the reason I said this is the most important thing that I'm going to be able to teach you about is because it is. 11 out of 10 people, okay, everybody, they say that when they have an OWCP injury, they've got some serious problem that goes with it, okay? It's usually financial. They can't find a doctor. They can't afford to pay the doctor. They can't take time off of work. They run out of time off of work, so they don't have it. And so everything just sort of spirals out of control. And that's why, I say overcoming obstacles that lead to personal life destruction on my first book. That's what happens. Total destruction, especially financially. So it starts with not knowing your time frames. People have no idea that they still can report their injuries. And so it just goes unreported. So let's start there. You have 3 years to report a federal work injury. 3 years, okay? So somebody along the way, probably your supervisor, said you have 2 weeks or 3 days or 30 days or whatever. And that wasn't true. Maybe it was a lie. Maybe it was just they didn't know and they repeated something they had heard from someone else that was wrong. You have 3 years. And so the first thing that happens is people just don't report their injuries. They think it's too late after however many days, weeks, or months. But it's 3 years. But then the other problem that people have, let's say you have 3 years, or at least you didn't miss your deadline. But they procrastinate in reporting their injury. And so let's say you have an injury that happens in a single shift, which would be reported on a Form CA1. Well, in that instance, if you report right away, you have access to all these great benefits. And if you wait 1 week, you lose a very important benefit. If you wait 1 month, you lose a second very important benefit. Everyone that gets these two benefits has a greater chance of success in workers' comp. And it's this. If you report in 7 days, you get a Form CA16. A CA16 is so important because it pays all your health-related bills related to the work injury for the first 60 days after the injury. If you report within 7 days, you're eligible for the form. If you wait till day 8, you cannot have it. So the first thing I want to tell you is report now. I tell everybody the soonest possible time to do anything is now. Well, the soonest possible time to report your injury is now, today. And then at that, you'll make your 7-day deadline and you can get your CA16.
I'm pausing, Chris, for a minute. Okay, I'm going to make sure that this OWCP Chats page is working. I don't know why it's doing that. Thank you for...
What's happening to it?
This is what's coming up when she's signing in.
All right, well, keep trying. It's a new page, so there may be some bugs in it. I have it up on my screen. I'm not sure why. She had it up on her phone a second ago. So it's working on our end, but I'll have our web guy take a look at it. All right, so getting a CA16, it pays all your health-related bills for the first 60 days. So why is that so important? It's because too many people come right out of the gate and they're making decisions on how to pay for healthcare because they can't find doctors that take OWCP or that understand it. And so without a CA16, doctors are asking for insurance cards, which comes along with co-pays and co-insurances and deductibles. So the first thing is you're saying, well, shoot, I didn't expect to get hurt today, but now I've got to have all these medical bills that I wasn't prepared for. I don't have the money for that. And so you end up going back to work and trying to work through the pain. So I always say, how are you going to make it to retirement if you can't make it through your next shift? So get a CA16. Okay, that's so critically important. Now, on this website, OWCP Chats, and at breakingowcp.com, there's a free forms tab there. But I have a form there for how to request a CA16. It's one that I created myself. It's not an official OWCP form, but it does have the rules, the laws, regulations on what supervisors are supposed to do. On the form, it specifically has the code of federal regulations that says supervisors are required to give it to you, and they have 4 hours to do so. So they usually don't even know the rules themselves, and so we teach them the rules by giving them this form. It also has a place in there where you get to write what time you requested it. So they know they're on the clock. They have 4 hours to give it to you. So you put the date and time you requested it. But if you'll get that, hold on a second. If you get that form, go download how to get, the form. It's called, it does have a name. I'm looking at it. Request CA16. So if you go download the form that's called Request CA16, it'll help your supervisor understand that they have to give it to you. All right, what were you going to say?
So Javon said, how do I get a CA16? It's been 9 days today.
It's too late. I'm sorry to say that, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, Javon wants a CA16, but it's been 9 days. You only can get it within the first 7 days. If you don't have it already, you're probably not going to get it. And so that's really important. Everyone has to see that. Report immediately, okay? That's probably the most important thing I can tell you is report immediately. Too many people are waiting to report or scared to report. You got to overcome the fear. Take a shop steward with you if you have to, but overcome that fear and get into your supervisor's office and report your injury on time and get your CA16. That's critically important. When you don't get it, you start making decisions financially. We want you to make just healthcare decisions and don't worry about the money, and that's what this form does for you.
A lot of you guys will see when myself or one of the case managers are on our team, when I ask or they ask, where are you located? Did you have a CA1 or CA2? And immediately I'll say, like today somebody said they got in a car wreck. I said, get a CA1, get a CA16, get a CA17, contact Eric Blowers. I mean, I put it down. So when we tell you to do that, remember you have 7 days to get a CA16. And once you tell them you have 4 hours. 4 hours and 1 minute, what do?
File a grievance.
File a grievance.
Yeah, so get that form, but I was just saying, so many people miss that 7 day window because they're scared to report.
Yeah.
Or, there's some stigma attached to it, which we should all just get over because your health is more important than that stigma. I've got another form on OWCPchats.com and breakingowcp.com, and it's for reporting your new injuries. And so this form, it says, I blank, you, am exercising my right to report an OWCP work-related injury or condition. For CA1 injuries, my date of injury was blank, and today's date is blank. For all injuries that are reported within 7 days, I get a CA16. So if you get this form plus the CA16 form and take that to your supervisor upon reporting, it'll be impossible for them to keep you from, number one, filing your work injury, and number two, getting a CA16. So I've made these forms for you because these are the most common problems that I'm seeing you guys have. If you'll use those problems are going to go away because you're just using the law as your defense, and that's the best defense.
Yep. Peggy said, who pays with a CA16, OWCP or employer?
OWCP pays for all work-related treatment, so it's OWCP.
Mary said, I sent my form for travel and time, OFG reimbursement, but HR never sent to OWCP, LOL, so I gave up because you only have a year. What?
No, that's not true. You have a lifetime to report this stuff. So no, that's definitely not true. As long as your claim is accepted, if your claim ever gets accepted, you can go back and get reimbursed for everything you ever spent out of your own pocket, all the miles you ever drove, all the days you ever took off. So no, there is no 1 year deadline. That's another example of people hearing the wrong stuff. That doesn't exist. You still have time. Go back and get your money, get your time. It's yours.
Yeah, don't give up. It's your money. And on top of that, I know a lot of our franchises, their case managers have been calling and saying, what do you guys do when the MRI place won't take you and not bill with your CA16? You can file it with your insurance if that's the worst case scenario, but make sure you get a receipt so that way when your claim does get accepted, you'll get reimbursed for that.
All right, let me keep going because there's a lot to this. There's a reason this is the most important thing I'm ever going to tell you. Okay, so number one, I've told you that you have to report immediately, get a CA-16. Two, I've told you you got to report to your supervisor while you're reporting immediately. And I've given you a couple of forms here that will help make that process easier so you don't have to argue about whether or not you can report an injury and whether or not you are going to get a CA-16. You need those two things to happen. But the third problem that I see people have is also related to not reporting on time. They wait 30 days or more, and then you can't have COP. So the next problem people have is saying, how do I take time off of work? I'm in too much pain. I can't lift these packages or whatever. But I can't take any more time. I ran out of sick and annual leave. I just don't have anything else. I've used up all 120 days or whatever, my Family Medical Leave Act, and I'm stuck. I'm going to get fired if I don't go back to work. Well, if you report within 30 days, and by reporting within 7, you made you cut off, or made the deadline. But by reporting within 30 days, you're eligible for up to 45 days of continuation of pay. These are all in CA1 claims, okay? They're injuries that happen in a single shift. So it happened in a single shift. But those are the ones you don't plan for. Like, if you get carpal tunnel, that sucks, but it develops over time. It's not like you didn't see it coming. You've been dealing with this for a little while. But a CA1 claim is like you just didn't know you were going to get in a car wreck today, or that a dog was going to bite you today, or you're going to step in a hole today and twist your knee, or whatever. Like, you didn't plan on that. And so it's important that you have these benefits, the CA-16 and the COP. So continuation of pay is good for 45 calendar days of pay, not 6 weeks, but 45 days. I always say to drive it home, if you take 1 day off per week for 45 weeks, that's 45 days, okay? So that's one more thing you can have that will help get you through this period of time. Hopefully, by the end of 45 days, your claim's accepted. If you're coming to a Federal Injury Center's office, your claim's getting accepted, okay? We bank everything on it. Maybe others won't, but at that point, then you can start using sick and annual, and it gives you extra time. Yeah. But that 45 days of COP is a great way to get started if you don't plan on the injury, happening in the first place, which you didn't. So those are the first 3 things I want to tell you. That you have to report immediately, get a CA-16, and get COP. If you have a way to pay your medical bills for the first 60 days, and you have a way to take off of work without using your own sick and annual leave, then you're not starting, sort of behind the 8 ball, as they say. You're starting off in a really strong position. But that starting point is what gets every injured federal employee who doesn't report on time. It's just, man, you're like, wow, now I got to pay these bills. I can't find a doctor who will take OWCP, so they're all trying to take my health insurance. And I don't have any way to take any time off. I used it all already because I was hurt. And then everything just goes to hell from there, okay? It's like Mr. Ray said, he's tired of seeing his carriers go homeless. Well, me too, okay? But that homeless problem starts from day one not reporting on time. The most important thing I can tell you is report today. Immediately report. Don't accept anything less than, yes, you can fill out your forms. Yes, here's your CA1. Yes, here's your CA2. Yes, here's CA-16. And then when you fill out your CA1 form in box 15, check COP. Okay, somebody the other day said, can I go back and elect COP later? Well, yeah, I think you can, but don't do that to yourself. Elect it today. And start taking care of yourself without you having to pay for it and without you having to use your own sick and annual leave.
Yep.
Okay, if you start this thing off right, everything moves so much more smoothly. And that itself is the most important thing I can tell you. But there's one more thing. Let me just do the one more thing, then we'll answer all the questions. So here's the last most important thing. And it's writing your own employee statement. So this is what gets missed all the time. You'll fill out your CA1 or your CA2, whatever, and in the box like 9 through 14 where you're writing the description of the injury, you don't write a good enough description. Well, I've got a form on these websites I've given you, OWCPchats.com and at Breaking OWCP on the free downloads tab. And it's called employee statement form. And what it does is it walks you through how to get the details that a doctor would need to get your claim accepted. Because, see, the next problem is if you don't have a Federal Injury Center's office near you, your doctor's going to get your claim denied. Okay, how do I know that? Because almost everybody has a denied claim that has an OWCP injury. But if you'll write a statement, an employee statement, give it to the doctor and tell them to incorporate it into their narrative report, you've got a way better chance of getting an accepted claim. At the very least, your claim will get denied, but you'll have a really good starting point. You'll read the denial letter and just fix it, and you can get it approved on the second time around. Okay, most people are going forever without getting approval. So you need to fill out this employee statement with the great detail that only you know because you were there. Nobody knows the detail of your injury better than you do. So I have a lot of questions in there that'll help walk you through making a really great employee statement. But now, imagine this. Let's say you get hurt today, okay? You report today. Today you get a CA-16. Today you elect continuation of pay. Today you write a great employee statement, okay? Tomorrow or today, you choose your own doctor because that's another important thing. You have a right to choose your own doctor.
Yep.
Nobody can get in the way of your choice of doctor. Nobody. And that's why we always say choose your own doctor, even if it's not us, okay? We respect that's your right.
Yeah.
So choose any doctor, but let it be your choice. They send you to a nurse practitioner, it's, at an urgent care, that's denied, period. Go to the ER, same issue, except that if you see the MD at an ER, they're not going to write a narrative report at all. It's going to be awful at best. You can't go to orthopedic surgeons because they're great surgeons, but they don't write reports either. They want the claim to already be accepted. Your family doctor doesn't know how to do this. Your family chiropractor doesn't know how to do this. And even if they did, they can't sign reports, and so it's really no good to have their signature on anything. In fact, it's counterproductive. And if you say work for the VA or on a base, you've got doctors that are in the hospital or on the base. You can't be required to go to a doctor that's employed by or under contract with the agency. The right of the choice of doctor, initial selection of physician, as they say it, is yours 100%. And so that's the next thing. It's like you just get snowed under by your supervisor who says you have to go to the urgent care that we send you to.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you need to go because you've got a broken bone or something, or you need stitches. I don't know. But you shouldn't go back without researching where the nearest OWCP doctor is, because you need that claim accepted.
Even if it's not one of our franchises.
Find somebody that'll do it.
Find somebody. And we understand almost 80% of the time your claim gets denied because a doctor doesn't know what they're writing. And we're not telling you have to go to federal injury centers. We're telling you to go to a doctor who knows DOL, who understands the verbiage, and who's going to write a great narrative. Some narratives are 4 pages, some are 12, some are more. I mean, it just depends.
Well, thankfully, none of them are 12.
Some of them are 4, some of them are 12.
If any of the new doctors are watching tonight, you don't have to write 12-page reports to get a claim accepted.
But the reason it can be more than 4 pages is the amount of detail you put in.
Yeah.
Make sure, like he's saying, pull the free download on your employee statement.
Yeah.
And just fill as much. And I mean, today we just spoke to one of the doctors and he says he loves being stupid detailed. Because you know why? It tells exactly what's wrong with you. You know, you twisted, you bent, whatever it is, just add as much detail as you can and make sure that the doctor sees that form.
So let me recap. The most important things you're ever going to hear about OWCP are right now. I'm going to go out of order of how I taught it. You can choose your own doctor. You can get free forms off my websites to help you report your injury. You're going to report it today, not tomorrow, and certainly not 31 days from now, because you're losing your benefits. So you're going to get a CA-16, and you'll have this form to help you with that. You're going to elect continuation of pay, so you have some way to be off of work if you need to be. And did I miss something? No, that's it. How about that? And then last, before I open it to questions, is you may be currently at a doctor that's doing an awful job, that your claim has been denied over and over and over again, or like the lady that said earlier, the doctor won't write another letter, or the doctor goes out of business, or they're too far away. Like, let's say you're driving over 100 miles to get to the doctor. Well, you're only going to get paid for the 100 miles. More than that, they're just going to deny it anyways. And do you want to drive 100 miles round trip? So that's another issue. So let's say you've got a doctor that's doing a terrible job. Or you're driving a long way to get to the doctor, and you would like to go to someplace closer, or go someplace where you can get your claim accepted, okay, and stop having these problems. I've got another form. This is the last free form I'm going to talk about, but it's called Change Doctor. And it's a guide for how to change treating doctors. I'm going to open it up now. So I made this guide. This is not... Listen, when you get this form, don't send this form in to your claims examiner.
No.
You use this to formulate your letter, because you have to write a letter requesting a change of treating doctor. And so this just will help you write your letter. Do not send this form in, okay? It's a guide for how you do it. But get this form. If you feel like, man, I'm just driving too far to get to the doctor, especially here in Florida where I know it's happening, then this is how you change treating doctors. If they don't allow a change of treating doctor, you can ask your doctor to remove themselves from the case. And the rule says that request shall be granted, and then you can choose another doctor. That has to be done in writing to the claims examiner. And then the other thing that you can do is you can have your treating doctor write a referral to a doctor closer to home. And referrals are honored in OWCP. So if your doctor refers you to somebody closer to home, you can get treatment at the place closer to home. So those are the ways to do it. But check out the change of treating doctor form. You know, these are just answering all the problems that you've ever had that I've heard about. I know that doctors are the lead cause for getting denied claims. So change doctors if you need to. I know that not getting a CA-16 is the lead cause for people going into financial ruin later on. So get a CA-16. I know that one of the main reasons people lose their job is they don't have any way to take time off. So get COP, continuation of pay. That's 45 days of time off after a work injury.
Somebody asked what COP
That's
meant.
why I said
That's what it is.
Continuation of pay. And, you know, write your own employee statement because nobody knows the details of your injury better than you do. You were there when it happened. So write a great detailed employee statement. So if you pick the right doctor, you write a great statement, you have a CA-16, and you're electing continuation of pay, you're going to have a smooth start in your work injury process. And it's only going to get better when you go someplace and you get your claim accepted. Because accepted claims are the solution to everyone's problems. And that's what Federal Injury Centers does. We get claims accepted at a record pace.
Jeanette Morris, you said, my problem is getting OWCP to pay me in a timely manner. I filed a CA-7 back in March 24th, and I'm still waiting for money. Make sure you guys don't file your CA-7s until your claim is accepted.
Yeah, if your claim's not accepted, they're never going to pay you. If it is accepted, they should pay you at least once a month. If they're not going to pay you, they're going to send you a denial letter in the mail, and it's going to tell you why you didn't get paid. So you may want to call your claims examiner and ask what the status of that is.
Okay. Roxanne Kimball said, I have the book and I did request for reconsideration with original doctor who would not fill in the 5A form. Now my Medicaid pain management doc has sent me to a spine specialist where I've had 2 to 3 procedures to burn the nerves, damage in an LLB accident, still waiting on OWCP. OWCP cut me off because they sent me to a doctor who didn't examine me, telling them there was nothing wrong with me. I've contacted Eric Blowers and he basically can't do anything, so now what?
You know, that second opinion doctor thing, I was just reading about that. There was a doctor, I think in, 2017, 2018, that I think was sanctioned because he was always ruling against the claimant or the injured person, always ruling against. And every single person said he didn't even touch me, barely talk to me.
We've been hearing a lot of that.
So, yeah, I read that. I know what happens. It may be worthwhile for you to record your visit with the doctor. We all have video cameras on our phone. I've never thought to say that before, but that might be a way to go.
Yeah.
I also like for you to get a CA-20 and a 17 from your current doctor, along with maybe a disability narrative explaining your situation, so you can hand deliver something to the second opinion doctor and make them look at something.
So if you're saying that your CA-7s are getting denied, here's one of the reasons. Maybe because you're not attaching the 4 things that we tell you to attach. 1, an appointment printout signed by the doctor. 2, a CA-20. 3, a small a small paragraph stating why he took you off work.
That's called a disability narrative.
And number 4.
CA-20.
I said CA-20.
CA-17.
CA-17.
So a CA-17 duty status report that took you off of work. A CA-20, which is basically the doctor giving a status report. A disability narrative explaining why you're off of work. And a printout of your appointment signed by the doctor.
There you
Attach
go.
all of that to your CA-7 and you should get paid.
So what was your name? Somebody said on here your CA-7s are not being paid. That's probably why.
Yeah.
So resubmit all of that stuff.
And make sure your claim's accepted. If your claim's not accepted, it's never going to be paid.
She said it's accepted.
Yeah, so it's a matter of documentation. Typically, these are sent in, and a CA-7 will be filled out perfectly. but it won't have all the attached documentation, so they'll just deny it.
Yeah. Amanda Ray said, just started back to work on light duty as a role carrier, working a few hours a day. My question is on my CA7A. I need to break down my hours worked to LWOP hours. Am I using my daily hours or base it at 40-hour a week that shows my pay stubs? So if I work 3 hours a day, do I claim 5, 8 to 3, or my route evaluation 6.2, 9.2 to 3?
So as a rule carrier, that's a little bit of a tricky question. If everyone else had, if you just had an 8 to 5 shift, then that would be easy. I'm not sure. I think you're probably going to have to use your evaluation, but somebody on here is going to be a rule carrier, probably a president of some sort, and you could check me on that, and I'm happy to be wrong only if you will tell me that I'm wrong and tell me how to fix that answer.
Deborah Brooks said, do we have to buy back our leave time that we have used?
You don't have to, but it's an option. That is an available option. You use the form CA7, probably a 7A, and always a 7B.
Renee Marie said, if you accept a limited duty offer in your 45 days of COP, continuation of pay, what happens to COP? Is it on hold?
Yeah, so COP runs out either one of two ways. Either A, the claim is approved, or B, you use up the 45 days. But those 45 days are there to use at your discretion. If you're able to go to work limited duty, then and you've only used, say, 20 days of COP, then you'll still have 25 days left until your claim gets approved, and then it's gone.
Yeah. Hey, Rich Ray is on from Staten Island. He said, use these forms. These forms are amazing. Use them.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You can always mail them in as well. Javon said, I know my postmaster will deny my first claim. They're not.
So this is something that's very, like, she's not saying that to you.
I'm saying the postmaster.
She's really frustrated, postmasters, I guess. They can't deny your claim. They don't have the authority to deny your claim. Only a claims examiner can do that. A postmaster can prevent you from reporting your injury, but if that happens, contact OSHA, 1-800-321-OSHA, and tell them, my postmaster won't let me file a work injury. Believe me, they take that stuff very seriously because on their list of employee rights, the 6th right is the right to report a work injury. And on OSHA's site, they talk about how it's a crime to prevent you from reporting an injury. And it's a crime. The U.S. Code says it, and the Code of Federal Regulations also says it. That's punishable by fines and imprisonment.
Yeah. Madeline said, my case was denied until I went to the federal injury centers. Which one did you go to, Madeline?
Thank you.
I'd love to know.
We're really glad that worked out.
The postmaster is not supposed to have anything to do with the acceptance of a denial of a claim. It goes to Department of Labor. And absolutely right.
You know what? What they can do is on the second page of a CA1, there's like 3 or 4 places they can write bad things about you. But if that stuff is false, they can be fined and imprisoned for that too. So you always tell the truth and don't worry about it. Your doctor is going to hold the most weight. Their narrative report is going to be weighted by far the most. And a postmaster cannot prevent you from getting an approved claim.
Regina said, do you have doctors in Louisiana near Baton Rouge?
Walker, Louisiana, as I understand it, is near Baton Rouge. And that's the office that we have.
Yeah, we will be coming there sometime in June to have a meet and greet.
We'd love to see you there.
And make sure that they're ready to go and see all the new patients. Cindy I said, that is true. It just happened to me. My case was just adjudicated today because they didn't like the initial report codes that was submitted. The doctor actually sent in a 4-page narrative. Yep, that's
how it goes. And then, you can write a beautiful narrative and then write a diagnosis that's like a pain diagnosis. It's always going to get denied too. So these are just things that requires training. When we train our doctors, we train all those bad things out of them. So the first report they ever write goes out clean.
Okay, so you said, I'm going to a new doctor. What do I have to do?
I'm not really sure what's happened so far. It's hard to answer that question.
If you can private message us on our Wednesday night chats, I want to get more info, and one of the girls and if you put your number, one of the girls will probably call you tomorrow.
Yep.
So we can go over what you need to do.
Yeah, we'll find a way to help you.
Rich Ray said, that's all our doctors here on Staten Island. We only have one place that accepts OWCP, and not one doctor in that building does not write narratives. I say 98% of the time, cases on Staten Island are denied. Chris,
I know,
we
Rich.
need an injury center here. I wish management was the biggest problem, but our biggest issue is medical doctors.
That's right.
Mr. Ray, we're trying so hard
We
to
really
find
are.
a
You have
doctor.
no idea. I mean, it's like number 1 on my radar.
Ron, you said I filed since January and I'm not getting paid. Message us. Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
Miss Monet. That's a cute last name. I didn't get paid for my last 2 weeks of my COP, but was told once my CA7 is in, then I'll get my back pay. Is this true?
Yeah.
How does the buyback program work?
Well, okay. So let's say you took 2 weeks off and you didn't get paid for it. Your CA7 will pay you back for the time you took off. Just be sure you attach all your documentation. And but what was the last part of her question?
Hold on.
How does the buyback program work? Yeah, so take a look at the CA7B. The second page of that is instructions. That's the best way for you to figure out how that's going to work. But because the reason I'm being a little bit why I'm not answering the question very well is because there's like a math formula. So you got to plug in this information to the CA7B. Take a look at it. Once you see it, it'll become abundantly clear what's going on there. So she had to let one of our puppies out, so I'm going to look for questions. If the doctor didn't take you off work but management refused to schedule you, how should that be documented for a CA7? So that's actually great. If management does not let you work, then you need to just write something up yourself that says, I tried to go to work and they won't let me. See if you can get it in writing from management that they're not going to let you work, and then attach that to your CA7, and that should be adequate to get you paid.
Rich Ray said, we have this issue on Staten Island. 2 second opinion doctors are all doing the same, saying all these carriers are not disabled. This has been ongoing.
That's right. You know, I'd like to see any of those second opinion doctors do any of your jobs for any day. Really, they would not come back the second day.
June said, my case has been open since May 2018. I tried working with the vocational counselor. They discharged me saying I couldn't even do light duty. I can't lift more than 10 pounds, can't sit for long drives, can't bend, twist, and I'm looking at a spinal fusion. Will my case ever be done? Will I ever be able to get it settled? June, let us know. Private message us. Let us know where you're located and so we could help you. And put your phone number down so one of the girls can call you.
Yeah, and I don't know what treatments you've had or what other treatments you still could have. Are you an MMI or not? But also, like federal disability, I hate talking about it, but it might be for you. But I'm not advising you of that because I don't know enough. But if you talk to Attorney Eric Blowers, he can advise you on that very expertly. So give him a call and ask him because he specializes in disability.
Cindy said, it says we can submit a CA7 on eComp website, but the second page requires a post office to fill it out.
Yeah.
So how can the CA7 be submitted before the second portion is signed?
It shouldn't be. You need that second portion filled out. So if you want to send it yourself, get your supervisor to fill out and give it to you. But they're supposed to send it in. By rule, they have 5 days to turn that in to Department of Labor once you guys fill it out together. Just make sure you get a copy of everything that the supervisor takes from you, because if they don't attach your documentation, you won't get paid. So you need to make sure you've got a copy of everything.
Renee said, how do you claim the COP if it has been held? Management will obviously never offer it. Is this something you can go through your claims examiner with DOL?
Well, call your claim examiner, but on your CA1 form, in box 15, which is near the bottom of the first page, that's where you elect COP or sick and annual leave. So for all of you here, if you have to fill out a CA1 form, check that box, COP. That way you don't run into a problem of how do I get COP. Call your claims examiner and say you want to switch and let them know, and they'll tell you what to do.
Melissa, I'm so sorry to you, Danielle, and Donna. I didn't send out your gift cards, and I'm going to get it out to you next week after we come back from Atlanta. She said, can't you file a claim on eComp now, which forces management to do their part in the claims process and DOL see it if they don't?
Well, a lot of agencies now are going to the electronic submission, which is eComp. So if you're working for one of them, then yes.
Ginny Lawhead said, I was told on the first 90 days probation, if you get hurt, they will fire you for working in an unsafe manner. So we hear
contact OSHA
stuff about that. So contact your union, contact OSHA as well.
That's right.
See, Rich said, go to your union rep. Sounds like a grievance to me.
Yeah.
There you go. This is why always contact your union first. If your union doesn't do anything, go to the next step. You have MBAs, you have district reps. And if not, worst case scenario, contact your national. unfortunately, it's a lot for one person, but unfortunately you'll have to do it if you're not getting anywhere, because the things that happen internally with federal employees, that's something that we just don't do because we just focus on work injuries. So,
But there's a line,
you know,
that on the other side of that line is union. Go there, because most of you have very strong unions that can help you.
Madeline, you went to Norwood to get your claim accepted. Great. That's one of our franchises.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. Renee said, what if the supervisor, not postmaster, didn't do an accident report? So I went to the doctor and tried 6 was of PT after an x-ray. Then the doctor did an MRI and found a tear. So what if the supervisor or postmaster didn't do an accident report?
Well, whether they do an accident report or not, if you fill out your CA1 or CA2, you're good to go. Them filling out an accident report is kind of their thing. I wouldn't worry about it. But your CA1 or CA2 is what you need to get the ball rolling for yourself.
Tona, Ferry. Ferry or Ferrari?
No, it looks like Ferry to me.
Yeah. Jeannie, I love your beauty classes. Oh! Those of you that are not following me, go to Beauty and the Cocktail. That's so sweet.
This thing was going along so smooth.
It helps her stay positive. Look, it helps me stay positive. But I needed emotional support from Chris last week. My doctor refused to write a narrative over the past 9 months, but instead sent me to do an FCE. It was an epic fail. I cannot climb stairs and ladders. I requested to do a do-over. Is my case ruined? I'm not.
No.
What? A malanger?
Malingerer. She wants to get back.
I've been locked up at home and ignored for the past year.
So an FCE actually is not. It's not something you need to redo, and it won't hurt your case. A functional capacity evaluation's purpose is to see what your current workability is. That's it. It's to see what you can do. They should use the information from the FCE and to fill out a CA-17. So don't feel bad. I mean, what the key is that you give your best effort. You give a valid effort.
Right.
If you give a full effort and it turns out what you think is bad, well, that's because you're hurt.
Yeah.
And the FCE is only there to find out how bad you're hurt right now.
Yeah. Duchess said, have you heard of QTC Medical Services that deals with workers' compensation? No. You know who we've heard of? Federal Injury Centers.
Yeah.
Jody Norton said, my supervisor wrote a letter to DOL saying I'm faking my injury just to get the time off. My case got accepted thanks to Dr. Harper.
That's
Awesome.
right. Because the claims examiner looks at what the doctor's medical report says and compares it to a non-medical supervisor and says, oh, okay, we don't care what the supervisor says. That's not a doctor.
Yeah.
Hey.
Portal, you want to know where? Okay, so if you want to private message me when I'm telling you guys to message us, you can go into Wednesday night OWCP chats and there's a message tab, just like if you were to, or you can message me privately on my regular Facebook, Gini Helms, and just go into the little messenger, little squiggly thing, and just message us there and we'll answer you. Javier Arias said, I need to file a reoccurrence. I've been out since COVID started. I don't know the supervisor. Is this going to be a problem?
Well, I don't know the supervisor either, but it shouldn't be a problem. But be sure that it's actually a recurrence. This is a problem people run into. They have, say, like a knee injury, and later on the knee starts hurting again, so they think, well, I've got a recurrence. But there's 4 ligaments in the knee, there's cartilage in the knee, there's bones, there's tendons. How do you know what's really hurt? My point is, go to your doctor and make sure it's a recurrence.
Yeah.
Make sure it's not a new CA1 or a new CA2. If it's a recurrence, go fill out a CA2A with your supervisor, and who cares who the supervisor is? It's their job to help you fill it out. They have to do it whether they're new or not.
Javier, if you have a question and you need help, just message us.
Yeah.
If any of you have any personal questions and need more help than what we're answering, message
Send us a Facebook
us.
message.
And put your phone number on there. One of the girls will contact you.
They'll either respond right there and give you the answer in writing, or they'll give you a call.
Tona says, I don't care about the pay. I need to get back to work.
I hear that. Loud and clear.
Oh, Tracy said, any way to get surgery approved faster, waiting. Oh, any way to get surgery approved faster, waiting over a month.
Yeah, let me tell you what's happening with you. I don't know what your approved condition is, but my gut feeling is it's not a surgical condition. What'll happen a lot of times is doctors will get, say, like a knee sprain approved. Well, a sprain's not surgical. Or a lumbar strain. Well, a strain is not surgical. You need the higher level diagnosis to be approved, like the torn ligament or the herniated disc. I don't know what your condition is, so I could be totally wrong. I see slap tear. If that is the actual approved condition, it should have been approved because that's a surgical diagnosis, and you need to call your claims examiner and find out what's going on.
Joe Manfredi said, I had a work comp case for 5 years. Can I make it FMLA, retiring in 4 months? Thanks.
Can you make it FMLA?
Yeah.
You can use FMLA anytime that you're off work
But
to care for yourself or for someone else.
Switch it to FMLA.
No, but
yeah.
you can't switch to FMLA anyways. Family Medical Leave Act is there to give you time off of work to take care of yourself or a loved one who's ill or injured or something. So a lot of times people use FMLA to have time off during a work injury claim, but it's not a substitute for a work injury claim.
Yeah, Joe, message me and let me know where you're at, and I want to hear more about what's going on with you, because definitely if you filed your work comp, you definitely want to always file before you retire so you can still get those benefits. Laura McKenzie. Sorry.
If you file after retirement, you will not get an accepted claim.
You're not good. Laura says, hi, Chris and Jeannie from Greensville, South Carolina.
What's
Laura,
up, Greenville, not Greensville.
Greenville.
That's right.
I think I put Greensville on the thing.
It's Greenville.
Okay. Laura, I thought you were in
Austin
with my guy, Matthew McConaughey. What happened? Jealous. Matthew McConaughey jealousy. Smile now.
Off the rails. Let's get him back on.
BK Harvey said, for various reasons, I have CA7s from last year signed by my postmaster. Can I still send in and get payment?
Yep. Be sure you attach your documentation. But absolutely yes. If those are valid forms and all the information is correct, send it in.
Deborah Brooks said, my claim was first denied in December last year. Eric done my reconsideration and new doctor 4-page narrative. Have used 55 LWAP. When I took my new CA17 and still on limited duty, my postmaster in return told me they would not offer me limited duty until my work comp gets approved.
That sounds like a story I've heard 1,000 times. So just get with your union and see if there's any help you can get from them. But I hear this all the time.
Melissa James said, doctor said no more can be done. Knee replacement is a must. What is my next step?
Well, it depends on if you want the knee replacement or not. If you want a knee replacement, Department of Labor, OWCP can pay for that. I've seen it. I've seen people with double knee replacements. So that shouldn't be an issue. You have to decide if you want that. If you want that, that's going to come with physical therapy afterwards, because there's, they're going to cut into your bones and remove stuff and reattach muscles and tendons and stuff. So you're going to need therapy after that. At some point, you'll be at maximum medical improvement, and then you'll get a schedule award. But that sounds like it'll be far down the line unless you refuse surgery, at which point you're probably at MMI right now.
Kim, you can order the book right down here. I pinned the comment with the phone number and www.breakingowcp.com. I think I said too many W's, but that's us.
Those of you that know us, they know we have more W's than everyone else.
www.federalrundercenters.com.
But you know why we have more W's? Because W also stands for win. We win a lot.
Deborah Brooks said, when are you coming to Charlotte, North Carolina?
Oh, so soon.
Thanks.
Now that the office is on board with us, one of the next things that happens is we'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
We go to every office eventually once they're trained and opened up.
When I tell you guys we're going to have a meet and greet and we go to the office, we get one person, maybe two, sometimes 10 show up. So when I say we're coming to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I
Greenville,
give you
South Carolina,
or wherever.
Yeah.
Wherever, right?
We want you all to be there.
We want you to come see us. We bring books. We give you pens. We give you all a bunch of goodies. But that's the time to talk to us one-on-one and get your questions answered and for us to help you even more.
Yep.
So
we love meeting you in person.
When you see me post a meet and greet, as we are going to have a meet and greet next week, we'll get to the end of that. Rich Ray said, you cannot get fired for getting injured. Go to your union.
That's right. Rich is right. That's illegal. 1-800-321-OSHA. You cannot be fired for having a work injury.
When you need to get a narrative written for an appeal after receiving treatment elsewhere, does it hurt your case to have a new doctor write the narrative as long as they have access to all visit notes, test findings, and documentation?
No, happens to us all the time. We get people that came from other doctors all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. And we write their new narrative and get it accepted all the time.
Constance said, here in Greenville, South Carolina, wonderful staff. I'm excited. Thank you, Chris and Jeannie. You're welcome.
Thanks for saying that.
See how quick, we said, I just today, as we're driving from Orlando, meeting another doctor, I'm posting this and you guys already went. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys checked it out. Portal said, I've been waiting for a call from my union for months, even after calling various times, ready to leave the union. Non-union workers get the same support without union dues.
I don't think that's really true necessarily. Not that I'm in a position to argue with you because you're there and I'm not. But I think what you need to do is go up the ladder and talk to someone else. The union reps and presidents that are here right now watching would definitely tell you, don't give up, don't get out, talk to someone else.
Constance said, are you hiring? Laura McKenzie is interested. We get that all the time.
We're not right now, sorry.
Carol said, wish I would have known you before at the beginning of my process. I'm more at the end, just waiting for my MMI.
I wish you would have known us too, Carol. But that gives me an opportunity to tell you all again, to share this. I know we've been on an hour. We'll keep going for a while here, but share, because otherwise the next person that wishes they would have known us when is going to be next. But if we can get the word out that we're doing this now, we can prevent a lot of problems and save a lot of financial lives by helping people early on in the process versus when it's too late.
Cindy, you said you emailed me. I didn't get an email from you. It's Gini, Gini, at Federal Injury Centers.com. Diane said, is there a limit on how many miles you can claim on travel reimbursement?
Up to 100 miles round trip. So if anybody's driving further than that, you're probably not getting reimbursed, and it's taking time out. And I always say the surest way to get paid is to be on the clock. So if you're leaving work, driving 100 miles round trip to go to a doctor's visit that's going to be an hour or 2 hours long, then what you have to do is you have to account for that time on a CA7 and a 7A and hope that your documentation is good enough to get paid. Alternatively, if you can spend less time off the clock and be clocked in, you'll get paid. And there's no argument for how you get paid on the clock. So I'm hoping that we're able to solve a bunch of those types of problems with all the offices that we've opened up.
Yeah. Gina Chandler, can you message me this question that you wrote on here? I really we want to help you with that, and it's lengthy, so I don't want to have Chris keep going and going. This is personal for you. Tona said, Chris, my FCE score was 50. They said because of my anxiety and fear, they were unable to decide what I can and cannot do. My doctor said my case is over and there's nothing wrong with me, even though I have an MRI proof of spinal injuries. Oh, brother.
You might need a new doctor. I got the change of treating doctor form. If your doctor refuses to continue to help you, that'll be a good reason to switch doctors. But I wouldn't give up. I believe that you're really injured because your claims examiner says you're really injured.
Yeah.
The diagnosis doesn't lie, so I wouldn't give up. I never do anyway, so I wouldn't recommend it for you either.
Deanna, when we come to Charlotte, we will definitely let everybody know so we can meet you guys.
We'd love to have a whole bunch of you there at the office to meet us and to meet the doctors and staff and stuff.
Melissa James said, thank you guys are awesome. Javon said, so thankful I met you both twice.
We feel very lucky. I know I do.
Corey Parker, how can I find a doctor in California? We're working on it.
Cross your fingers.
Very hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
California's a little difficult right now for us to
for so many reasons.
A federal injury centers there. It's a process for California.
They require a higher level of registration for the franchise. It's not surprising. I got to be honest with you. There's a lot of places we can just move into, like all the places we're in. But California is just requiring these extra hurdles we've got to jump over, so we're jumping right now.
Renee, why do I always get your name mixed up? Renee Marie. I'm going to write that. I'm going to have a hashtag Renee Marie shirt. She said, thank you, Chris and Jeannie. I'm so thankful for these weekly videos, all the education and the support structure you are building across the states. You're so welcome.
Thanks for the feedback. I really appreciate that.
Where can I get those forms to assist my doctor in writing his narrative?
Excellent question. Go to OWCPchats.com, or if you're having a problem there, because it is a new site, forgive me for that. It'll be whatever problems we're having, we'll fix. But you can also go to my book's website, breakingowcp.com, and there's a free downloads tab where you can find these forms there as well. So I've got it in two places. once OWCPchats.com is fully working, and for me it is, so I'm not sure. I'm on it right now. I'm looking over here on it. It's easier to get the forms here than it is off my book's website. That's why I wanted to add it here. This OWCP Chats page is like a power page just for you. You've got to register. Please do that for me. It gives me valuable information to pass on to the doctors to say, I've got 2,000 people watching in, I don't know, Denver, Colorado. They need a doctor there. It's really good data. It helps me recruit doctors. So please don't hesitate to log in. Please register. I'm not going to spam you. Nothing like that. I just want to be able to know where people are at that are watching us so we can get there and help you. So go do that, but you can go to OWCPchats.com and breakingowcp.com to get all these forms.
Gina, I just responded to your message how you can contact me. Renee Marie said, can you guys release Mercy for us to promote you? The books, the offices, etc.
Can we do what?
Release Mercy for us to promote.
I don't know what that means, but you can promote us.
Yeah, you guys, anybody can promote. This is why we tell you guys to share.
Yeah, I mean, we're not here to promote, sell, advertise, but, we do have these doctors' offices that have been willing to come on board to help you, and that's what's needed. They need, it doesn't do anybody any good for me to train an office that never gets any patients to help. So when we get an office like in Memphis, Tennessee, for example, or in, South Dallas, take advantage of these offices. They're well-trained. They get claims accepted. It's really frustrating to me to know that you're out there and need the help, but nobody shows up.
Yeah.
So show up to the offices and get the help.
It seems like Greenville is going to do fabulous because people went by to go say hello. So what should be an N, not a B, Cindy I? Yes, Gini, Gin, as in Nancy I, at federalinjurycenters.com. Melissa, thank you for supporting us. She said, thanks for all you do. We love you. Okay, so let's wrap it up. Next week, we will be on Wednesday for the remainder of the week, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to be at the Hyatt Dallas-Fort Worth Airport Hotel. If you want to come and see us, I'm going to post what time you can come and what time you can come to the hotel to meet us. I know it's far out there. We're actually coming for something else.
We're recruiting doctors.
Yeah. And we won't be able to go outside of all of that. So
we're going to be locked at the hotel.
We're going to be locked at the hotel. So we're telling you guys to come. So we're going to have you guys come out if you want.
Go ahead.
If you want to come and see us, I'll post everything by this weekend. Those of you that are private messaging us, please be patient. We only have 3.5 or 4.5 girls, and that's a lot for them. And I tried to help and fill in. When we'll be coming to Michigan, we are going to come. We keep telling you guys we're going to come to all 50 states times. We don't know how many doctors. I mean, Florida alone has like 14, so you don't know what each state could hold. It is not easy for us to put a federal injury centers because of the vetting we have to do and the training we have to do. If you guys want accepted claims, you got to give us time to train the doctors. And
not to mention it's hard work, and a lot of the doctors, most of the doctors say no because it's hard work for them. The ones that say yes, we can all show our gratitude by showing up.
Georgia, we're actually, we have 3 locations in Georgia, which are, I was actually going to post that.
Savannah, Columbus, Atlanta. And
so
those are the 3 locations in Georgia.
And yes, you could carpool to Chicago. You can.
You can.
Unfortunately, we won't be putting another office in Chicago. That's it.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of traffic. We went there. We heard about the traffic, and it takes you almost an hour and a half to 2 hours to get to Dr. Archela's office. But it's in a beautiful area, and it's so worth going to. And claims are getting accepted there.
Yeah, and we're encouraging to open up in Southern Illinois as well. We've been wanting someone down there, like around, was it Springboro or Springfield? I forget. Springfield, I think. So we're trying to get them to open a second location in Southern Illinois as well, or Illinois. I don't know how you people say it. Illinois. So if we can do that, that'll help at least the southern half of the state as well.
Nicholas, you said you were hurt on the job. Message us and we'll tell you exactly what to do. Would you consider coming to Fayetteville, North Carolina?
Yeah, we definitely. We're considering all the areas.
How about Kansas.
It's all a matter of finding a doctor who's willing to roll their sleeves up and learn. That's been our issue. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're not excluding any states.
No way.
And when we're telling you we have 40 offices, it's because those are the places that the doctors are saying, okay, we want to do this.
But we've talked to doctors in California, Nevada.
Everywhere.
Talked
I
to
think almost all
everywhere,
states.
yeah. New Mexico, Colorado. I've talked to doctors in Missouri, Arkansas,
I think we've
Kentucky,
talked to a doctor
Ohio,
in every state.
Pennsylvania, New York.
We're coming, guys. We're coming.
Trying. We're trying hard.
Yes, you can't use. If my doctor is not trained in the 6th edition, what do? You have to find a doctor that does do the 6th edition.
All of our doctors are getting trained. There's an online portal for 6th edition training for impairment ratings. So all Federal Injury Center's offices are going to be trained to do 6th edition impairment ratings because we have to.
Yeah.
You guys need that.
So, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Follow us. Remember, I'm trying to get to 10,000 followers by this summer, and we're close.
And the whole purpose of that is
Close.
not, so we feel good about ourselves and we've got 10,000 followers. It's because that's how we affect the most people, is by having people follow this page and not having so many people saying, gosh, I wish I would have known you then. So please share this and follow it yourself. If you're here watching, hit the follow button, please. And tell your friends to follow, and just know that we're here helping. This is free. As you can see, we haven't asked you for any money. We never will. None of our offices do either. It's one of our laws at Federal Injury Centers is we don't take money from anybody, ever. Okay, we take it from Department of Labor, but their job is to pay. But we never take it from you, ever, no matter what, including this training.
We if you need to have the doctor, and you want your doctor to be a part of Federal Injury Centers, please message me. I'll tell you what to do from there.
Read Renee Marie's question there.
Hold on. Can we give your info to our doctors? Yes.
Yeah, please.
You can.
Please, we'd welcome any doctor that's enthusiastic about helping you.
The 6th edition is a book that the doctors need to purchase, not you. I know
it won't do you any good. It'll just confuse you.
Because you said you bought both Chris's books, and he said the 6th edition.
Don't buy that book.
Yeah.
Don't buy the 6th edition book.
Also, how do you find the closest doctor? Go ahead, Chris.
Well, you can go to federalinjurycenters.com or OWCPchats.com, and we are currently updating it with all the new offices that are trained and ready to go. So be patient with us. There's a lot of moving parts of this thing, but we're definitely working on it.
Yeah. So with that said, I want to announce, what are we in? April's share winner. Drum roll, please.
We're announcing April share winner at mid-May?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, drum roll.
Shih Tzus are awesome. Yes, they are. This is my third
All right,
one.
that was my drum roll. Who won? I'm dying to know. I have no idea who won.
This month, it's actually a guy. My friend, Jeremy Karskadin. I think that's how you pronounce your name. Jeremy, if you are watching, please message me what $100 gift card you would like.
That's who won in April?
And your address. Yeah, in March it was Melissa Ross, Tanyelle, and Donna, which I'm going to get all 4 gift cards out. So congratulations to Jeremy.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah. If any other questions were not answered on here tonight by us, give us a chance and we will answer them back afterwards. And we have all the girls that'll be on there answering them as well. And once again, we thank you for supporting us and watching us.
And for telling your friends, your coworkers, and your coworkers who are your friends, which I hope you've got at least one.
Yeah, this is why we do this. You see all the new people that are coming on here. People don't know, and I'm not knocking anybody. You don't know what DOL is. You don't know what COP is. The little
what
terms.
What OWCP stands for.
What OWCP stands for.
And
So
that's a
this
tough
is
scenario.
what we do.
Yeah.
And not only do we do this, we are putting franchises to help you. We don't
Meaning
have
we're
to
training,
do this.
we're
but
training
doing
doctors.
it.
Yeah. So when we open a new franchise location, it's to train an office so that you can have someplace to go so you can win.
Yeah.
I told you we have more W's than everybody else.
www.
That means wins,
Yeah.
okay? Winning is getting accepted claims. So we're trying to put offices near every one of you in the entire country so that you can win, okay?
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing about the disasters that take place after a work injury. We can fix that, For you, all you got to do is find a Federal Injury Center's office, and, we can fix it for you.
Yeah.
But you got to do that. So I hope you will.
Thank you guys so much. Please don't forget to even share the video after we get off. Share it with your friends. Tell your coworkers how to avoid financial disaster with today's live.
And this was the most important one that I've ever done.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of really important ones. I think they all are. But it's just these things are just overwhelming. They're building up. And so I told Gini, we've got to have this be the topic tonight.
Yes, you're right, Mary. There are so many sad stories on here, and the way to fix those sad stories is tell your friend to come on here and watch us every week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And avoid those problems.
They could avoid those
Yep.
problems. So right after this video, I'm going to go ahead and post our new Georgia offices. Share those that are in South Carolina. Share that post to your folks in South Carolina.
And if you're in Florida, for God's sake, don't keep driving an hour to get to the doctor. You don't have to, okay? We've solved that problem for you. And we've been doing a lot of driving through Florida.
Oh,
okay?
yes.
I'm not from here. I'm actually from Texas. And will you stop him from digging? Throw a cotton ball at him or something? This dog digs everywhere. It's like, where are you going, China? Okay, good luck. Anyway, so we've been driving around through Florida. We went up to Tallahassee. We went over to Jacksonville. We just went to Orlando. We go there a lot.
Drove through Ocala,
Yeah.
which will be coming to Ocala.
Down to Fort Myers and, through Bradenton, that area.
Yeah.
Everything is so spread out. Look, I'm from Texas. You can drive 18 hours and still be in Texas. So it's not like I'm shocked that everything's spread out. But it is really spread out here. It's really, really shocking, actually, driving through these areas thinking, gosh, these people have been driving an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours.
3 times a week.
To get to the only office in Florida that would help them. Well, that's not the case anymore. There's 15 offices that'll help you now.
And we still have more coming.
So if you're driving an hour, or you're just driving longer than you want to, you're not getting reimbursed for mileage, you're taking too much time off from work and you want to clock in because that's the surest way to get paid, look us up, okay? We've got somebody to help you. And we intend for it to be this way in every state, okay?
Yeah.
But we're getting started. We're trying to get this done. 40 offices is big. A couple of months ago, I think we only had 8.
Yeah.
We're at 40.
We're at 40
it's huge.
now.
So hang in there with us. But yeah, if you're in Florida, don't keep driving far. Don't keep losing money. Don't keep jumping through hoops to get paid. Find a Federal Injury Center's office.
Gizmo wants some hearts before he says goodbye. Let's get some hearts in there for the Gizmo.
Brother.
All right.
Well,
we will see you guys next week. Next week, we're going to just be doing Q&A. A lot of you have a lot of unanswered questions, confusion, some trust issues with what's being said. We're going to help you. So get your questions ready for next week.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week at 8 p.m. with Gizmo. Gizmo's going to host next week.
Have a great rest of your week, leading to a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Got hearts.
Say bye, guys.
Say bye.
Okay, good night.